My female boss requested my presence after hours, but what happened next took me completely by surprise. Welcome to Bad Boys channel, where we reveal true adultery stories with unexpected developments. If you find the video interesting, consider subscribing and liking it. Your support really aids the growth of our channel. Now let's embark on the journey into the story. As I sat at my desk, wrapping up some reports, the unmistakable sound of heels clicking on the office floor reached my ears. The rhythm flowed with assurance, a testament to Clara's spirit. The moment she entered the room, I felt it in my bones. There was no need to glance up to confirm her presence. She moved through the world with a commanding grace, her very presence prompting others to stand a little taller as she passed by. Yet I lifted my gaze, catching a glimpse of her as she paused next to my workstation. "James," she said, her voice steady yet resolute, "would you be able to linger a bit longer after work today? It's time for us to sit down and have a heart-to-heart discussion." A weighty exchange of thoughts, a subtle tension gripped my stomach. Her voice held no anger, yet the directness and finality of her words set my thoughts into a whirlwind. Without a moment's pause, I replied swiftly, eager to mask any trace of uncertainty. "Is all well in your world?" "We'll talk later," she said with a calm assurance. With a graceful pivot, she strode away, the rhythmic click of her heels echoing against the gleaming office floor until she vanished behind her office door. I lingered for a moment, letting the thoughts swirl around me. What on earth was that all about? For 2 years, I found myself weaving my journey within this company. My job brings me joy. With a fire in my heart and a clear vision in my mind, I set my sights on the heights of success, confident in my abilities and the track record that spoke for itself. Indeed, I went the extra mile, putting in late hours when necessary, embracing additional responsibilities, and toiling diligently to demonstrate my worth. What could possibly prompt her to seek a serious conversation with me? Was there a misstep on my part? Throughout the day, the thought lingered in my mind, refusing to let go. As I sifted through the tapestry of my past week's endeavors, I sought to uncover any threads that might have unraveled, revealing the source of my troubles. Have I overlooked a deadline? Did you ever find yourself saying something unexpected during a meeting? Was the moment of dismissal upon me? That just doesn't quite add up, does it? If it were truly serious, wouldn't the human resources team be stepping in? Clara was a different kind of boss, unlike any other you might encounter. She commanded respect with her unwavering standards, yet her fairness shone through in every interaction, embodying professionalism at its finest. She maintained a certain distance from the rest of us, avoiding casual small talk and keeping her personal life shrouded in mystery. While some felt a sense of intimidation in her presence, I found myself filled with respect for her strength and character. From humble beginnings, she crafted this company with care, steering it with unwavering precision. She held high hopes for everyone around her, and she had no patience for anything less than excellence. What could have prompted her to seek a conversation with me? As the clock struck 6 p.m., a sense of anticipation filled the air, and I found myself on edge. The office had largely cleared, the familiar buzz of conversation giving way to the gentle whisper of the air conditioning. With a deep breath, I adjusted my tie and confidently approached her office. The door stood just a whisper away from being fully open. I rapped my knuckles against the door twice, holding my breath for her reply. "Step inside," she beckoned. As I crossed the threshold, I gently shut the door, sealing the world outside. Her office unfolded before me just as I had envisioned, a harmonious blend of minimalism and modernity, meticulously arranged to perfection in every aspect. A polished desk stands proudly, accompanied by a pair of inviting chairs, while a bookshelf brims with volumes on business strategy and leadership, each spine whispering tales of wisdom and insight. Everything was neat and tidy, devoid of any personal touches, save for a solitary framed photograph resting on her desk. From my vantage point, the figures within remained a mystery to me. With a graceful wave of her hand, she invited him to take a seat in the chair opposite her. "Gather round." I complied, sitting upright, striving to appear as calm and collected as I could. With her hands gently folded before her, she regarded me thoughtfully for a moment before breaking the silence with her words. "You've been here for 2 years now," she remarked, "and I've observed your dedication to your work. With a heart full of ambition and a mind sharpened by focus, you pour your energy into every endeavor." I leaned in, eager for her to share more. "I wish to see how you're doing," she continued. "What are your thoughts on your work?" Let me share a tale about the company. A sense of ease washed over me. Perhaps this conversation turned out to be more worthwhile than I initially thought. With genuine enthusiasm, I expressed my affection for it. It seems that I am on a journey of discovery, eager to expand my horizons and embrace greater responsibilities along the way. She nodded, a knowing look in her eyes, as if she had anticipated that response all along. And what of the souls that dwell in this place? Do you find harmony with all those around you? Indeed, I proclaimed it with unwavering certainty. Text. Indeed, while challenges may arise, I truly believe we possess an exceptional team. She regarded me for a moment, then reclined a bit. Excellent. For a fleeting moment, I believed the dialogue had reached its conclusion, yet then she posed a question that utterly caught me off guard. What tales unfold beyond the workplace? Is there someone special in your life? In that moment, my eyes fluttered open, surprise washing over me like a sudden tide. Well, I must clarify, after a moment's hesitation, I said no. Not at this moment. My attention has been deeply immersed in my work lately. She nodded once more, her movements deliberate and measured, and just like that, she rose to her feet, a clear signal that the meeting had come to an end, and with that, she concluded her tale. Feel free to take your leave. In that moment, I found myself pausing, caught in a web of uncertainty, and there you have it. And with that, she gave her affirmation. As I rose from my seat and stepped out of her office, a swirl of confusion enveloped me, leaving me more perplexed than when I had first entered. What could have prompted her to inquire about my personal life? What was it that made her tone so grave? And why did I sense that this was merely the start of something much larger? Isn't it amusing how the mind clings to certain thoughts, refusing to release them? Following that encounter with Clara, her words lingered in my mind, refusing to fade away. Well, I must admit I was a tad taken aback indeed. She carried herself with an air of professionalism, her demeanor always serious and composed. And then, as if the winds of fate had shifted, she inquired about the tapestry of my personal life. It was a puzzle that defied understanding. Yet, as time flowed on, I found myself setting it aside. The wheels of work continued to turn, projects stacked high like tales waiting to be told, and life pressed on, ever forward. I thought perhaps it was merely a customary visit. Perhaps she was simply curious about my thoughts and feelings. Yet almost 3 weeks later, an unexpected event unfolded before my eyes. As the sun dipped low in the sky, casting a warm glow over the nearly silent office, I was just moments away from wrapping up my day when a sudden email notification caught my attention. With a rush of impulse, I lifted the lid and peered inside. James, I would be delighted to share a meal with you. There are a few tales I'd like to share. Join me at La Mer, the charming restaurant on Oak Street, at 8 p.m. this evening. It holds great significance. Once upon a time, there was a character named Clara. As I gazed at the email, time seemed to stretch, and I found myself lost in thought, attempting to unravel its meaning. Shall we gather for dinner, accompanied by Clara? What a surprising turn of events this was. La Mer wasn't quite the setting I would have envisioned for an evening of business dining, in a snug little nook where tranquility reigned supreme, more personal than formal. A setting perfect for romance, where the ambiance whispers sweet nothings rather than business talk. As I let my fingers glide through my hair, a swirl of uncertainty danced in my mind. Why didn't she simply summon me to her office? Why turn it into something so intimate, and what on earth was so crucial that it couldn't be discussed in the light of day at the office? For a brief moment, I paused, but then a revelation dawned upon me. She held the title of my superior, and when she summoned me for a meeting, declining was simply not an option. With a swift response, I assured them of my presence. As the clock struck 7:45 p.m., I settled into a table at La Mer, putting on a facade of tranquility, though my nerves began to unravel beneath the surface. The soft glow of the dim lighting. In the gentle embrace of the evening, the soft jazz weaves its melodic threads through the air. The aroma of exquisite cuisine wafted through the air. The entire scenario unfolded like a dream, leaving an air of the extraordinary in its wake. What brought me to this place? What was it that she wished to discuss? As the clock struck 8 p.m., Clara made her entrance. In a simple yet elegant black dress, she captured the essence of understated beauty. Her hair was styled to perfection, yet there was an undeniable air about her that suggested she was meant for the office, as if the world outside was merely a backdrop to her professional presence. In the midst of it all, she exuded an undeniable presence that commanded attention. With a fleeting smile, she took her seat opposite me. For a fleeting moment, it seemed as though we had stepped into the realm of a business meeting. Skip the small talk and pleasantries. Let's get right to the heart of the matter. "I'm delighted you could join us," she remarked, her tone steady and composed. Yet there was an intriguing quality in the way she expressed herself. The atmosphere was far from the typical dynamic between a boss and an employee. There was a gentle warmth in her voice, as if she were sharing secrets with a dear friend. I nodded, a sense of uncertainty lingering as I pondered the direction of this unfolding tale. "Absolutely." "What tale unfolds, Clara?" She gazed at me for a heartbeat, as if weighing the choice to share her thoughts or remain silent. In that moment, she leaned in just a bit, her gaze locking onto mine with an intensity that was entirely new to me. "Perhaps something that touches the heart, revealing a hint of fragility." "I can't recall if I've shared this with you before," she began, her voice softening. "Yet steering this ship can often feel like a solitary journey. Individuals drift in and out of our lives, yet forging a true connection seems elusive. In my pursuit of the next big move, I sometimes lose sight of the bigger picture, forgetting to pause and reflect on the journey so far. There aren't many souls I can share my thoughts with, especially when it comes to the deeper truths of life." In that moment, I found myself at a loss for words. Clara had always exuded a sense of calm, a mastery over her emotions. It was hard for me to picture her experiencing loneliness. And there she stood, revealing a tale I never anticipated to unfold. She took a moment, savoring her wine before she resumed her tale. "There's a familiar spark about you. You evoke memories of my own youth. Your spirit is fueled by determination and a desire to achieve great things. Yet there lies a depth within you, a spark I haven't encountered in ages." A flutter of excitement quickened my heartbeat. Was this a gesture of praise, or was there something I wasn't grasping? "I'm afraid I'm a bit lost in your words," I confessed. Clara's smile danced on her lips, a hint of understanding flickering in her eyes. "There's a spark within you that inspires a sense of trust in me, to embrace transparency. And that, my friend, is a rarity indeed." I took a deep breath, my mind racing to unravel the mystery of her words. I preferred to keep an open mind. This was not her usual self. She carried herself with the utmost professionalism, always. With a subtle movement, she adjusted her position, reclining just a bit in her seat. "Ah, James, it strikes me how individuals weave in and out of our lives, appearing for a moment and then vanishing as if they were never there at all. Finding someone who lingers long enough to truly grasp the depths of your being is no easy feat, who isn't captivated by the possibilities of what you can offer them." The atmosphere around us began to change, a palpable tension weaving through the space we shared. This had transformed into something far beyond mere business talk. It was truly remarkable. But what could it possibly be? Words eluded me, so I remained silent, my gaze fixed upon her, absorbing every detail. The woman, once a figure shrouded in distance and mystery, now found herself seated before me, revealing a piece of her heart. But what was the significance of it all? What message was she attempting to convey? The ambiance in the restaurant hung in the air, denser than it had been upon my initial entrance. Clara's words lingered, weaving a tapestry of silence between us. Yet I found myself lingering in uncertainty about her true meaning, what lay beneath the surface of this conversation. It felt more like a tale unfolding. It was unlike any ordinary conversation between a boss and an employee. I settled into my seat, a wave of uncertainty washing over me as I pondered my response. I couldn't simply nod and smile as I might with a coworker. This experience carried a unique essence, a deeper connection, a sense of closeness. Clara, the woman who had always maintained a careful boundary, was now opening her heart to me. She caught the hush that enveloped us and offered a small, somewhat shy smile. "It may come as a surprise to you, James. Once upon a time, in a world filled with endless possibilities, there was a moment when I found myself, I'm not quite sure. There are moments when I find myself yearning for a listening ear, someone to share my thoughts with, A true listener, one who pays attention and engages with every word spoken. The words that escaped her lips felt at odds with the poised, capable woman I had come to know over the last 2 years. It felt as though I was uncovering a part of her that had long been concealed, tucked away, and shrouded behind the facade of a businesswoman. And there I was, perched on the edge of my seat, gazing at her as if I had stumbled upon a secret meant to be kept hidden. I'm uncertain about what you hope to hear from me. At last I found the courage to reply, striving to maintain a calm tone. I understand where you're coming from. Leading a company can be a challenging journey, filled with moments of solitude and uncertainty. But this one has a unique twist, doesn't it? As our gazes intertwined, a silent connection sparked between us, and for a fleeting moment, I believed I caught a glimpse of something elusive. It felt as if a weight had lifted from her shoulders, a glimmer of gratitude in her eyes that I had chosen to engage rather than dismiss her. Yet in an instant she regained her composure, her familiar calmness enveloping her once more. "Perhaps it is," she whispered gently. "Perhaps it's due to the fact that this feeling has eluded me for quite some time. In the midst of a bustling crowd, I find myself among colleagues, partners in enterprise, and a tapestry of connections. Yet I often find myself in a world where it seems no one truly grasps the depths of my journey." Her tone carried a certain gravity, not quite sorrowful, yet undeniably heavy. It felt like she was unveiling a secret, one that had remained locked away in the depths of her heart, never spoken aloud to another soul. And I found myself pondering what could be the reason behind her sharing this with me. Why choose me? Uncertainty hung in the air as I pondered the weight of the information before me. I found myself in uncharted territory, with no prior experience to guide me through this kind of situation. Advice on personal problems wasn't really my forte. Yet, there was something about Clara that felt truly authentic. It was clear to me that her words held a deeper meaning, as if they were woven from genuine emotion rather than mere whimsy. Her voice carried a depth of feeling, and the way she gazed at me spoke volumes. "I've been at this for quite a while now, James," she continued, her voice soft yet resolute. "Yet, there exists a limit to how much labor can truly occupy the emptiness within. Individuals drift in and out of our lives. They seek the thrill of advancement. They seek increases in their compensation. They seek recognition, and that's perfectly all right. Yet, there are moments when I ponder whether anyone truly sees the essence of my being. Let me share a glimpse into who I am." Her words struck me with an intensity I hadn't anticipated. Once upon a time, there was just a guy, truly, a young man on a quest to carve out his place in the company. Yet the fragility in her voice reached my ears. In all honesty, I found myself at a loss for words. I settled into my chair, seeking to weave together the threads of my thoughts. Text: "I believe I'm not the most suitable individual to discuss this matter," I replied with a measured tone. "Well, I'm just embarking on my journey in my career. Yet I believe I grasp the essence of it. Perhaps it's not so much about others being concerned with your identity. Perhaps it revolves around the importance of embracing your true self, what truly resonates with your heart, beyond the mere demands of the role." Her gaze lingered on me, stretching the silence between us. Her eyes narrowed just a bit as if she were piecing together a puzzle that was me. And then, in a moment that felt like a gentle dawn breaking, Clara smiled for the first time during this conversation. Though it was small, its presence was undeniable, a genuine smile. "You're right, James," she said, her voice taking on a gentle warmth. "You possess a wisdom that you often overlook." I found myself shifting in my seat, a wave of discomfort washing over me. Compliments from her were a rare treasure, something I had yet to grow accustomed to. Clara was the kind of leader who would share her thoughts on your work, thoughtful and exact, yet lacking a sense of intimacy. In that moment, an uncomfortable hush enveloped the room, lingering like a thick fog until she finally leaned back in her chair. "I can't quite explain why I'm sharing all of this with you," she murmured, her voice softening. "Perhaps it's due to the spark that still dances in your gaze. A person untouched by the weariness of corporate trivialities." I took a deep breath, caught in a moment of uncertainty. With a hint of embarrassment, I remarked, "I'm simply trying to do my job." With a gentle laugh, she shook her head, a twinkle of amusement in her eyes. "I can perceive that clearly. But James, you possess a uniqueness all your own. It seems to me that there's a spark within you that goes beyond mere ambition. Your spirit shines bright. Uncertainty washed over me as I pondered my reply. Her gaze held a depth that was almost palpable, stirring something within me. It felt as though she was on a quest, delving deep within me, seeking something elusive and precious. Once more, the dialogue took a different turn. Clara inquired further about my aspirations, curious about my career ambitions and how I envisioned my future unfolding in the coming years. It was quite peculiar when she inquired about my personal life, especially given my tendency to keep things to myself. I found myself unaccustomed to sharing my thoughts in this way, particularly with her. Yet, I responded to her inquiries with all the clarity I could muster. As we savored the last bites of our meals, an unsettling sensation lingered within me, leaving me feeling slightly askew. As I stepped into that dinner, I had a certain expectation, but by the time I left, a whirlwind of emotions danced within me, transforming the experience entirely. I'm grateful for our conversation tonight, James, Clara remarked as we prepared to take our leave. Finding a true listener is a rare gem indeed. A smile graced my lips, yet uncertainty lingered in my heart. All good. Our conversation was truly enjoyable. As I stepped out of the restaurant and into the cool embrace of the night, an undeniable sense lingered in the air, whispering that something had shifted within me. This had transformed into something far more significant than a mere work conversation. It resonated deeply, overly intimate. Though the meaning eluded me, there was one certainty that stood firm in my mind. The plot was thickening, and the twists were just beginning to unfold. In the days that followed that fateful dinner, an air of peculiarity lingered. Clara appeared to drift away, lost in her own world at the office. It felt as though she was deliberately steering clear of any connection with me. It lingered in the back of my mind, elusive and just out of reach. Could it be a figment of my mind? Or was there a change in the air between us? In the past, she was merely known as the boss, the resolute leader, unwavering and steadfast, who ensured that all remained in order. Yet following that dinner, a shift lingered in the air. In that moment, I found myself pondering whether it was merely my own sense of unease, or if she too was behaving in a way that felt out of the ordinary. I make an effort to keep it from occupying my thoughts for too long. Once upon a time, there was a journey filled with tasks to conquer, timelines to honor, and aspirations to fulfill. Now was not the moment for excessive contemplation. Yet each time I glimpsed her in the hallway or met her eyes from across the office, an unusual tension hung in the air. It wasn't entirely unpleasant, but it felt like stepping into the unknown. Nearly a week after that dinner, she summoned me to her office. As the sun began its descent, casting a warm glow, the office settled into an unusual stillness, a hush that wrapped around the desks like a soft blanket. As the day drew to a close, individuals began to gather their belongings, signaling the end of their tasks and the journey homeward. Yet Clara's door remained firmly shut. As I knocked and entered, I observed that the familiar air of professionalism in her demeanor had vanished. Instead, she appeared somewhat lost in thought. "James, come in," she beckoned, her voice a gentle whisper, more tender than ever before. It felt unusual to hear her speak to me in such a manner. She had always been straightforward and professional, yet today her tone carried a hint of warmth. "Hello, Clara," I began, stepping into the room and taking a seat right across from her. "Is all well in your world?" She nodded slowly, as if carefully crafting the words that would soon escape her lips. "Indeed, all is well with me. There's quite a bit swirling around in my thoughts, I suppose. Our conversation from last week has been on my mind lately. A sudden warmth surged within me, igniting my chest with an intense fire. Ah, indeed, I feel the same way." I attempted to keep my tone light, yet an unsettling sense lingered that this was far from an ordinary follow-up. As she leaned in, her gaze locked onto mine, she shared her thoughts, a spark of curiosity lighting her expression. "You mentioned that there are those who truly care to know the essence of my being. It seems you may have a point there. In the whirlwind of work and the hustle of business, I've lost sight of the most important character in my own tale, myself, what fuels my desire." Her candidness took me by surprise. It was a rare moment when her words flowed freely, shedding the cold professionalism that she typically donned as a protective shield. I took a deep breath, caught in a moment of uncertainty about how to reply. "It was never my intention to imply that you're missing out on anything. Ah, I see the dedication you put into your efforts. Perhaps the opportunity to unwind eludes you. With a gentle chuckle, she interrupted me. Ah, I see what you're saying. It seems I've been so caught up in the pursuit of my goals that I've overlooked the important question of whether I truly find joy in my current journey. I nodded slowly, letting her words sink in, savoring each one as it unfolded before me. Clara was revealing a truth to me that took me completely by surprise. It seemed as though she was revealing herself in a manner that no one at the company had ever done before. Her gaze locked onto mine, a connection that transcended the surface, as if she was peering into the depths of who I truly was, beyond the confines of my labor. "So, you've been part of this journey for 2 whole years, haven't you?" she inquired. "Ah, the fire of ambition burns bright within you, James. Your determination shines through. I can sense it within you, and I believe I'm catching a glimpse of something more as well." I arched an eyebrow, curiosity piqued about the direction this was taking. Once upon a time, there was something else. With a moment's pause, Clara reclined in her chair, contemplating her next move. "It's a bit hard to express this without it sounding odd, but you bring to mind someone from my past, a kindred spirit, ignited by the same fervor, the same flame. It seems that sensation has eluded me for quite some time now." A shiver of discomfort swept through me. What words were escaping her lips? Did she speak of me in a manner that transcended mere professional matters? I endeavored to maintain a calm expression, yet within me, thoughts were swirling like a tempest. "I didn't mean to make things uncomfortable," she said quickly, her eyes widening as she grasped how her words might have been interpreted. "Your contributions to the team truly deserve recognition, and I want you to know how much I value them. There's something unique about you. It's a rarity." The silence stretched between us, her words hanging like a delicate mist, and for a heartbeat, the world paused around us. The stillness lingered, thick with words left unvoiced. Finally, she broke the silence. "Ah, James, how delightful it is to reflect on our conversation from last week. It illuminated my perspective, allowing me to see things with greater clarity. You've been a big help, not just in terms of your work, but just as a person. I hope you understand that there's much more to this than meets the eye. It's simply that, I believe you understand. You know the feeling of being deeply invested in something beyond mere work." I nodded, my mind swirling with uncertainty as I tried to make sense of her words. Indeed, I understand. It's essential for everyone to nurture a passion beyond the confines of their job. Clara's smile was subtle, yet there was an intensity in her gaze that sent a shiver racing down my spine. It felt as though she was on a quest, delving deep within me, seeking something elusive, someone who transcends the role of a mere colleague. He was more than just a man in her employ. With a gentle smile, she eased the atmosphere, expressing her gratitude. "Thank you for being here, James. Though it may seem overwhelming, I believe we will navigate through it just fine. There's a world of possibilities ahead of you, and I can't wait to witness the journey you embark on." As I rose to my feet, I found myself enveloped in thoughts, grappling with the whirlwind of events that had just unfolded. As I made my way to the door, Clara's gaze lingered on me, and in that fleeting moment a thought crossed my mind. Was she on the verge of uttering something deeper? A moment that could transform it all. Yet she chose not to. As the stars twinkled above, she whispered softly, "Good night, James. Sweet dreams, Clara." As I stepped out of her office, an undeniable sense of transformation lingered in the air, wrapping around me like a whisper of the unknown. As the tides of our relationship began to change, I found myself caught in a whirlwind of uncertainty, unsure whether this transformation heralded a bright dawn or a looming storm. All I sensed was that the boundaries between my work and personal life were fading, and I was uncertain of the path it would take me on. The days that followed that dinner unfolded like a gentle crescendo, hinting at an unspoken tension neither of us dared to face head-on. It felt peculiar, as if we were both engaged in a delicate dance of denial, masking the truth that everything had shifted beneath our feet. Though I remained the same person I was when I first stepped into this place, still on a quest to validate my worth, a new chapter had unfolded in my life, a twist I never saw coming. Clara remained in her role as my superior. That hadn't changed. Yet the bond we began to forge beyond the confines of our professional lives had only grown stronger. We had come to a mutual understanding to keep the topic off limits in the office, and we honored that pact. None could fathom the intricate dance unfolding between us. Ah, the moments we shared after the day's toil, those precious times when we could truly be ourselves, free from the weight of titles and expectations. It felt just right, like a warm embrace in the twilight. It seemed as though it was something genuine. And yet deep down, we both understood that this journey couldn't persist on the same course indefinitely. It was an undeniable truth. One afternoon, several weeks after that memorable dinner, Clara summoned me to her office. The way her voice resonated hinted that this encounter would hold more weight than the usual casual gathering. Her words carried a weight that hinted at deeper truths. Once upon a time, there was a character named James. She started, her gaze fixed firmly on the papers strewn across her desk. Her voice carried a hint of distance, stirring a knot in my stomach. It's time for a conversation. I stepped into her office, a nod of acknowledgement escaping my lips as I sought to unravel the mystery of the moment. This was no ordinary gathering or exchange of thoughts on corporate affairs. A shift was in the air, and I sensed the tension weaving itself into the space between us. As I settled into my seat, she finally lifted her gaze, locking eyes with mine. Her expression was a mystery, and for a fleeting moment I found myself questioning whether she was about to bring our journey to a close. A wave of emotion washed over me, constricting my chest. That was not my desire. "We can no longer pretend that everything remains unchanged," she murmured gently. "There's an undeniable connection that has blossomed between us, one that we both recognize. However, in the workplace, maintaining a strictly professional atmosphere is essential. We must keep our personal lives separate from the company, and I encourage you to do the same." I nodded, the weight of the moment pressing down on me as I swallowed hard. The moment had arrived, a whisper in the air, signaling that a choice lay ahead of us. As I pondered over it, a deep understanding blossomed within me, revealing just how fervently I wished to see this come to fruition. It was more than a fleeting moment or a passing fancy. It was a tale of us, of all that we shared. "Indeed," I replied, my tone unwavering, "yet my heart aches at the thought of losing what we share, Clara. My feelings for you run deep, and I believe that doesn't have to lead us to part ways." She reclined in her chair, a glint of intrigue flickering in her eyes. I could sense the gears of her imagination whirring to life. She was pondering, measuring the dangers, reflecting on the outcomes. And then, with a gentle cadence, she began to speak once more, her voice wrapping around the words like a warm embrace. "We don't have to stop seeing each other," she whispered softly. "However, we must ensure it remains distinct from our professional endeavors. Let's maintain a sense of professionalism in our conversation, James. Yet beyond the confines of the office, we found the freedom to truly be ourselves. Imagine a world where we could truly embrace our authentic selves, free from the constraints that hold us back." A soothing tide of relief enveloped me. Though it wasn't the simplest path, it resonated deeply within, as if it were the only choice that truly mattered. It was undeniable, the joy that blossomed between us whenever we were together, and I was reluctant to let that slip away, not for anything in existence. "Text. I can live with that," I declared, my voice brimming with conviction. "My heart yearns for our happiness, Clara. And if that entails maintaining a certain distance while we're in the workplace, then I can accept that. It's a secret I wish to keep close to my heart. What we share is a secret, just for our ears alone." In that moment, her smile blossomed, warm and sincere, a rare sight that had been absent for far too long. My heart raced, and in that fleeting moment, I surrendered to the emotions I had long kept at bay. "We'll make it work," she declared with a glimmer of hope in her eyes. "It seems to me that this path we've chosen is the one that suits us both perfectly." And in that moment, the decision was made. In the workplace, we would carry on in our roles as leader and team member. There would be no sign of anything more lurking beneath the surface. Yet beyond the confines of the office, we would embrace a different side of ourselves, allowing our connection to flourish as a couple, free from the weight of our professional identities. The remainder of the day at the office unfolded as though the world outside had remained untouched by the events that had transpired. In the realm of our daily tasks, we remained unchanged, just as we always had been. Disciplined, dedicated, and intent on the task at hand. Yet, as I stepped out of the office that night, a wave of tranquility washed over me, for beyond those confines, I held something genuine with Clara. Our evenings unfolded in cozy cafes, meandering through parks, or simply wandering the vibrant streets of the city. Not a soul was aware. Secrets lingered in the shadows, waiting to be whispered only to the night. We discovered a path that harmonized our work and personal lives, and it seemed like the perfect choice. In that moment, joy enveloped us, a true and heartfelt happiness shared between us. Ultimately, that was the essence of it all. Our cherished bond, our affection, was a treasure meant for just us. Only we needed to grasp its essence. As the night wrapped its gentle arms around us, we drifted into slumber, fully aware that with the dawn's arrival, we would don our professional masks once more, just as the world expected us to do. Yet in those serene instances, we transcended the roles of mere boss and employee. Once upon a time, there was a couple who found joy in each other's company, living in a world of shared happiness.